listeners, my name is Khalid Taimur Akram, and I welcome you with a very, very special program with our dearest friend, His Excellency Aybek Arif Usmanov, who is the ambassador of Republic of Uzbekistan to Pakistan. Welcome, Ambassador. Welcome to 87.6. And This is Pakistan's first English language radio channel, and we are very honored to have you here with us celebrating the 33rd Independence Day of Republic of Uzbekistan. So before I go to the ambassador and ask him various questions, I would just like to tell the listeners that Uzbekistan and Pakistan enjoy extremely cordial relationships, and our culture, our history are one. Basically, people from Central Asia, they came to this part of the world long time back, and the most famous name, Zahiruddin Babur, which is a very household name in Pakistan. King Zahiruddin Babur, who was the first Mughal king, he came from Central Asia to this part of the world. And Pakistan, and it's quite an honor for me to interview the Uzbek ambassador, because he will be talking to you about culture, about history, what Uzbekistan is doing now. Is Uzbekistan good for tourism? Is Uzbekistan good for our students? So we are going to today talk on all these topics. So, Ambassador, as we know that on 1st of September, Uzbekistan celebrated its Independence Day. So please tell us about the policies of Uzbekistan, and especially about President Shaukat Mirziyoyev.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much, Khalid Taimur Saab, and thanks to the Radio Planet and the radio program of Islamic Republic of Pakistan for having me today and inviting on occasion, a very good occasion of the 33rd anniversary of independence of neighborly and closely country to Pakistan as Uzbekistan. And of course, I want to first of all to congratulate Pakistan and Uzbekistan with our Independence Day. I want to congratulate our great two countries with the great achievements in the recent world-class Olympic Games in France, where our two countries all together we have gained not less than 9 gold medals and more than 20 silver and bronze medals. Congratulated as well as the in Pakistan, all public have been congratulating Uzbek nation with the 13th place in these Olympic Games, which is the very big achievement. It's the first time that Uzbekistan are having such a prestigious place. In the same way that all Uzbekistani nation, they've been proud and they've been congratulating Nadim Rashad Saab, best the javelin thrower from Pakistan, who first time in such a long history of that Olympic Games has gained such a great achievement and recording the best result in our history. So you see from that thing that you may understand that of course in Uzbekistan we have more than 1,500 Pakistani students who are living there, and they are studying there the mostly medical specialties in the different cities like Tashkent, Samarkand, Bukhara, Andijan, and they've been also celebrating with us the best achievements of our sportsmen, as well as they've been celebrating the national days of Independence Day of Pakistan in August, and then of Uzbekistan in the 1st of September this year. The same way, we are happy that the more than 1,000 Pakistani businessmen who've been visiting Uzbekistan these days to attend the textile industry event, to the pharmaceutical event, and the construction and building material event. Who've been there to meet their own Uzbek partners. They've been also celebrating the national days of our countries. And let me also tell to our listeners that it is first time in the history when the Pakistan single country exhibition, made in Pakistan exhibition, been first time arranged in Uzbekistan. It's the first time that in the CIS countries were hosting the made in Pakistan single country exhibition, which been attended by more than 110 business leaders of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, who could do the G2B and B2B and business forum meetings with their Uzbek counterpartners. And I'm happy to tell the listeners and to you, Khalid Taimur Sahab, that there were only the 3 days when that exhibition was arranged in. During 3 days, it was arranged in the capital of Uzbekistan. It's a more than 20 different trade contracts and investment projects. MOUs has been signed, and the amount, that the initial amount of that business forum is like 200 million US dollars. So from coming back then for the what Uzbekistan is nowadays is doing, what my president is now doing for the betterment, first of all, of the social and economic life of the Uzbek people, what he is doing as the connectivity project to multiply the trade and economic and the transport and the transit opportunities with the neighboring countries. Let me tell you that, first of all, our two countries are the leading partners in the South Asian and the Central Asian regions. I'm happy to that for Pakistan Republic, the Central Asia is now became as the very big potential as the transit hub of the Pakistan economy to the CIS countries and overall to Eurasian continent. So that's why it was a long-term strategy of the trade economy and transit connectivity. When in 2021, my president arranged and hosted an international conference on the intra-regional connectivity, South Asia and Central Asia connectivity conference in Uzbekistan, which was attended on the highest level of the governments of Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, as well as the foreign ministers of more than 50 countries who've been representing the South Asia, Central Asia first, and then the West Asia, the Middle East, and the European Union, as well as the Asia Pacific. And that was a declaration of that conference, of that international conference on connectivity, as announced that from 21, the South Asia and Central Asia, they will become reconnected again. As you mentioned, Khalid Taimur Sahib, rightly, the names of the Mirza Zahruddin Baburs, which was in the 13th century, but before that, even on 11th, 12th century, it was the Amir Taimur and the Taimurid dynasty, who also been very well connected with the subcontinent, with the modern Pakistan, and of course, even before Amir Taimur and the Babur dynasties, we've been always connected, very well connected with our silsila of Sufi Karama, where the Naqshbandiya silsila from Bukhara Sharif of Uzbekistan been always moving to Mazar Sharif and then to Gulzar Sharif and Uch Sharif in Pakistan, and vice versa when Suhrawardiya, Chishtiya and Qadriya silsilas of Pakistan and subcontinent, they've been interacting with ulemas and madrasas in Samarkand and Bukhara and Tirmiz. It's just, if I may just give you the names like Imam al-Bukhari Rahmat alayh, Imam al-Tirmizi Rahmat alayh, Burhan al-Din al-Marghanani, al-Farghani, and of course we recall you the names of Abu Ali ibn Sina, Abu Rayhan al-Biruni, where the laboratories of Abu Rayhan al-Biruni been out now in Uzbekistan as well as in Pakistan also. We're having the historical legacy. So these just a few examples which I mentioned, that how our history, how our nations been connected to each other for the many centuries years back. So what the policy of my president is that the Central Asia and South Asia, and particularly Uzbekistan and Pakistan, should be as the two engines, two drivers, two trains, let's say, who will be connected to different two regions, who been connected before and during many centuries back, and that with this connectivity, when the trade will be diversified, when the transit would be intensified, when the investment projects and the mutual exchange of technologies between our two countries and two regions will be flourishing, that will bring a prosperity to our two nations, and it will make them as well as secure, as well as the prosper, and as well as the developing and multiplying each other energies.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ambassador, for giving a very comprehensive overview of the past also and whatever is happening in present. You very rightly said about the regional connectivity. Here I would like to tell the listeners that the Uzbek President, His Excellency Shaukat Mirziyoyev, this was his brainchild for starting a new corridor by naming it as Central South Asia Connectivity, and as we know that the gateway from Central Asia to South Asia is Pakistan, and the Peshawar city is the first major city once you enter from Central Asian side towards South Asia. And similarly, when entering from South Asia towards Central Asian side, Uzbekistan is the first country, and Uzbekistan serves as the nodal point for all the connectivity between Central Asia and South Asia. So, Ambassador, since I've been visiting Uzbekistan a lot, and every time I go to Tashkent, and I find out new buildings coming up, new cities coming up, and you have a bullet train between Samarkand and Bukhara and Tashkent, and Uzbekistan is very rapidly developing. So can you please tell us the 2030 strategy of Uzbekistan, that what are the priority areas in the 2030 strategy on which Uzbekistan is aiming at?
Thank you, Khalid Taimur Saab, for that question. That of course that the general plan, general strategy of every and each country, is Pakistan and Uzbekistan as well. Of course, it's facilitating the trade and economy and the transit and technology exchange and ITs and different sectors of economy, to make the people of our countries as well as prosper as we can, of course. So the 2030 strategy of Uzbekistan is well envisaged on 100 goals. From 100 programs, government program, more than half are, of course, dedicated mostly on the social and economic development, where creating the decent conditions, conducive environment for the realizing and implementing of the great potential of our young generation, of our business circle, of our ladies, of entrepreneurs, to make win-win solution in, first of all, as the domestic industry, then as the small and medium enterprises, and then as the creating the facilitating them the law and legislation from the government and from the parliament of Uzbekistan, so that there will be a very conducive environment for the businessmen and entrepreneurs to revive and to economy and to increase the economy. Let me just tell you that for the last 2 years, even after the difficult period of the COVID, and when the many trade chains has been interrupted, Uzbekistan could make 6.4% of the GDP, and it was amounted on overall GDP in dollar equivalent has been amounted as the 45 billion, which was comparatively 2-3 years back it was only 12, 8, or 18 or 20 billion. Yani it means that the Uzbek economy could double their GDP growth during the last 2 years to bring a better condition through the in business environment, through the diversifying the economy, through the financing the different projects, as I mentioned, starting from the family business, mahalla business, then the company business, and then the big state enterprises businesses. And of course, a big part of that strategic goals for the reviving the economy, it is also related to the international cooperation with the regional countries and the countries who are living in the regions which are Central Asia, South Asia, Middle East and West Asia and Asia Pacific. Let me just tell you that, for example, on the agricultural products of Uzbekistan, which is now been exported to the regional countries and to the other continents, has been reached as not less than as 20 billion US dollars. And I'm proud to say that Pakistan is also in 10 of best countries, so best partners of Uzbekistan on the exchange of agricultural products, and it is a win-win solution when the same way that Pakistan being an agricultural superpower, also using the Uzbekistan as the 40 million market, and also let me say that overall Central Asian market is more than 90 million people, when the Pakistan is using that 90 million market for the promoting and the exporting their agricultural goods. So then both of our countries, as we understand and our listeners would understand, we are always fighting against the poverty. So poverty alleviation is also a big challenge for every and each nation after such a difficult period of 3 years of COVID, and then the floods and the national calamities that unfortunately has been damaged the Pakistan economy. I'm proud to say that as well I want to congratulate the government of Pakistan when your inflation has been now reduced to the single digits, which was much higher before. In the same way, the inflation rate in Uzbekistan is only 5.2% in the last 2 years. Then, of course, we know that every economy will be used as the engine of every economic growth would be the direct investments. And of course, Uzbekistan performance and the attracting the direct investment was also very significant, where we increased the comparatively to the last 2 years. This year, our foreign direct investment to Uzbekistan are more than they have been reached more than 37% growth, and there is overall 22 billion US dollars. Just comparatively to 5-6 years back, the foreign direct investment in Uzbekistan, they've been only recorded as the 3.5 billion US dollars. So for the last 5, 6, 7 years, the direct investment in Uzbekistan now has been reached to $22 billion, and it is not just and we hope that up till the end of this year, these figures will be multiplied by the investment coming from the many other countries and the new trade and investment partners. Let me tell you also that Uzbekistan is trying, the government of Uzbekistan, with the support of my president, who is himself promoting a business-loving, business-friendly environment in Uzbekistan, that if 5-6 years back we've been only trading with 86 nations. So last year there were more than 140 countries with whom Uzbek partners been trading in all sectors of economy. And in the same way that the foreign trade turnover with more than 180 countries has been increased by 8.5%, and it is now amounted as the 42 billion. And we hope that these figures definitely will be doubled in the recent years, because using our own potential, like in Pakistan is doing, and of course fighting the environmental challenges, and then ensuring the rule of law, and when the government as well as the judiciary should be defenders of our traders and entrepreneurs. And of course, the main pillar of such a strategy of my president is that we should have consistent policy which will be based on the principle of the safe and peace-loving state. And if Uzbekistan is trying to be as much as possible friendly and confident with its immediate neighbors as well as with the far neighbors abroad. So all of that strategy, Khalid Taimur Sahab, is, I think it's like a guarantee for the long-term development and prosperity for Uzbekistan, and that's why I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the government of Pakistan, who have been always very responsive to the strategy of my president on connectivity, and I'm proud to say that Pakistan and the Pakistani nation is now the best partner of Uzbekistan and Uzbekistan economy in the all trade, economic and transit and transport endeavors.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ambassador. I'm sure that after listening to your interview, a lot of Pakistani entrepreneurs and businessmen would make a plan and go to Uzbekistan and look for more opportunities for trade and connectivity. Let us also talk about tourism in Uzbekistan, because as I know, Uzbekistan is one of the has become now one of the most favored destination for tourism, for religious tourism also, especially for Muslims going to pay their respects to the mausoleum of Hazrat Imam Bukhari, Hazrat Imam Naqshbandi, and historical places like Samarkand, Bukhara, Tirmiz. Tashkent itself is a very, very historical city. And many of us who go there to find out our roots, to know about our history, because as I've said before, that people from this part of the world are connected through blood with their brothers in Uzbekistan. So, and I'm sure that a lot of people would like to go to Uzbekistan for tourism. Please tell us about the opportunities of tourism in Uzbekistan. What kind of transportation is available in Uzbekistan, about Uzbekistan airline, and about hotels and everything.
Thank you very much for this very good question, because tourism and Ziyara tourism, pilgrimage, and just family tourism, recreation tourism, medical tourism, food tourism, they might be all of that dimension and sectors of the touristic activities are applicable for both of our countries. Of course, Uzbekistan as the center of the Central Asia and the Muslim Asia and the Central Asia have been always attracting the scholars and the ulemas, which we already mentioned during our program. And you rightly mentioned that Samarkand, Tirmiz, and Tashkent, Bukhara also. But let me also tell you that we have a Farghana Wali, Farghana and Namangan cities and Andijan cities, and the names of Farghana Andijan is very close to the hearts and minds of every Pakistani, because of not only because of the Harbin Babars, but also because of that many masjid and mosques from where the ulemas and the madrasas been very well connected with the madrasas in Peshawar, in Sargota, in Sialkot, and Lahore, of course, and Multan, Bahawalpur, Karachi. So it's the fact that well-known Pakistani scientist, late Ahmed Hassan Dani, in his research papers, he has been proven that the caravan routes from Samarkand and Bukhara, Tirmiz, via Mazar Sharif in Kandahar, always been reaching to Dera Ghazi Khan and Dera Ismail Khan, and after that to the Balochistan, modern Balochistan and modern Sindh provinces of Pakistan, and after that it was going to the South Punjab, cities like Multan and Bahawalpur. So that trade, economic ties between our two countries were going deep to the centuries. They've been also promoting the visit, which we just call it just as the tourism and the Ziyara tourism of our two countries. So Uzbekistan is the well-known tourist destination now for all Muslim countries and other foreign countries, where we're having last year the record of the tourists in Uzbekistan from abroad been more than 7 million. But of course it's just in the beginning, when the Uzbekistan government, as well as the governorates of every and each province of such cities like Khiwa, Khwarazm, Kashqadariya, Nukus, Karakol, Pakistan, and Sirdarya, and other cities in Nasaf areas from where the Amir Taimur birthplace is a well-known birthplace of Amir Taimur. And all of them, they are trying to, first of all, to have a big, to facilitate tourism through the building 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star hotels, and then creating the good opportunity for the transportation. When we are saying that all major cities of 15 provinces of 12 provinces of Uzbekistan, they are well connected by the airways first. Secondly, by the train. Now we have a bullet train, not just only between Samarkand and Bukhara, but also with such remote areas like Kashqadarya and with Ferghana or Wali cities like Andijan, Namangan, and Ferghana, and in every of that provinces where the governorate, they have appointed the responsible deputies of the governors who will be just only looking for the development of tourism. And of course, I should say that there is a big activities that agency for promoting of tourism, like you have also the Development Authority for Tourism in Uzbekistan, also Tourism Development Authority. They are trying to invite as much as possible the tourist managers and operators to these historical cities where they can find their Uzbek counterparts for the doubling and tripling the numbers of the tourists. In the same way, I would be very happy that to say that Pakistan is also is included in 90 countries of the world, for which we are making the facilitating the visa opportunities as well as the business visas and the tourist visas. And of course, many Pakistanis know that from 93 PIA was operating between Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad with cities like Tashkent and Samarkand. Now the Uzbek Airways was operating up till 2021, up till the COVID period, from Lahore to Tashkent. And now we hopefully that in the new year we will restore again the connectivity through the airways, and the Uzbek Airways is ready to start again is from Islamabad and Lahore cities and Karachi cities to such cities like Tashkent, Bukhara and Samarkand. And I'm also proud to say that there is a big interest from the Air Blue companies, Sirena Air companies, not only PIA companies, to start the direct flights to the Samarkand city and Bukhara cities, which are the most attractive points for the destinations for the tourists. And hopefully that the next year will be then the year of the not only the road and transportation but also air connectivity. And of course our good dream, which is hopefully will be implemented in 3-4 years, it's the railway connectivity between our two countries. When the Tashkent, Samarkand, Hermes can be easily connected with Pakistan, Peshawar and Islamabad and Karachi cities via the railways, through the railways. When it takes by bullet train just 3-4 hours to reach from Peshawar to Termez and vice versa, and the same way the rail network of Pakistan can be well connected to the railway network of Uzbekistan in all Eurasian continent. So it will be only a win-win solution when the project, the game changer project of Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan Railways will be implemented with the great efforts of the governments of our three countries, inshallah.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would come up to another important topic, that is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. As we know that in October, the important meeting of Shanghai Cooperation Organization will be held in Pakistan. It
Yes,
will be
correct.
the summit of the head of the governments, and hopefully all the partner countries would send their high-level delegations to Pakistan. Uh, Around 2 years back, the chairmanship of Shanghai Cooperation Organization was with Uzbekistan, and since I am a researcher and analyst for the Central Asia, so I noticed that during the presidentship or chairmanship of SCO of Uzbekistan, there was lots of events. I think the most events by any one country were done by Uzbekistan. So can you please throw some light that how the trade facilitation agreements happened, and how what was the roadmap for the SCO country which was adopted in Uzbekistan? Because Uzbekistan, ever since the SCO Shanghai Cooperation Organization is made 2 years back during the chairmanship of Uzbekistan, there was a very clear new roadmap for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
Thank you very much. You are rightly said and mentioned that the Shanghai Organization cooperation is the most influential regional, and for before it was like the regional if you look to the history, but now with the presence of such new countries like Pakistan, India, and Iran, this organization became as the global influence organization, which focused first of all, most foremost, it focused on the social, economic development, good neighborhood, trust, confidence, and cross-border partnership. So the main slogan of the SCO is the cooperation for prosperity of all on each nations who are members of the Shanghai Cooperation and the good neighbors of the Shanghai Cooperation. Yes, you correctly mentioned that 2 years back in Samarkand, the president of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, was the head of the SCO as the rotating 1 year, and that during that rotating chairmanship, my president has initiated a number of the good new projects, new suggestions for the further strengthening the trade, economy, transport, and the technology exchange, and as well as the trust and confidence, mutual trust and confidence between our all members of our Shanghai Organization, as well as the humanitarian and the tourist exchange between our countries. So the first suggestion of my president that was that the SCO countries should work out the code of good neighborhood, trust, and cross-border partnership. The second one, of course, it was always that my president, as the promoter of the trade and the economic cooperation, has suggested that the agreement of the trade facilitation within the countries of SCO should be introduced to the all neighbor countries. That it means, first of all, that using the digitalization, we should use the e-commerce, electronic commerce, and that would be a milestone for the cooperation program when the customs, when the borders, when the trade ministers, trade chambers, and different economic entities of our countries can cooperate each other with one click through the online and using the electronic commerce platforms and application. So all of that programs can't be, of course, implemented without the financing. So that's why my president has suggested to develop, to create first ever SCO development fund for the financing through the SCO development bank to finance the projects and the trade and transit between our countries. And that can be, of course, through the comprehensive cooperation plan to facilitate investment and technology in renewable energy. Of course, half of our member countries are now lacking the energy resources. So that's why using the traditional sources of energy, but also the renewable sources of energy is the need of to all our member states. The sixth proposal and suggestion of my president was about the future technologies of SCO, where we're trying to use all kind of startups, all kind of the new technologies and the new know-hows to bring as much as possible our young generation to the small and medium enterprises, and to create from these SMEs then to create the business leaders who would be not in the country or regional but also the global importance. And of course that would be through the roadmap of the implementation of roadmap of SCO countries to cooperate in the social development and protection of the social development is very important. And last initiative that my president has been envisaged during that last 2 years of his rotating chairmanship was related to the food security. The SCO food security program should be adopted by the member states. So after that devastating national calamities, after the epidemics like COVID epidemics, the people and the nations, neighboring nations, they should be having a very easy access to the food items. So the developing the food security program would be also the need of for our member states. And I do believe that inshallah in October, when the Pakistan will be hosting the Prime Minister level SCO summit, where the more than 20 countries of the member states, observer states, dialogue partners will visit Pakistan, inshallah. That would be a good opportunity for the executive ministries and prime minister offices of our SCO countries to join hand for the implementation of main SCO programs who will be put to the SCO summit agenda for the implementing the further development of trade, investment, and the exchange of technologies, and as well as the tourist program, as well as the boosting mutual trust and cooperation between our countries for strengthening the security in our regions. That would be, of course, definitely directed, inshallah, to the further prosperity and well-being of our nations, member states, observer states, and dialogue partners of SCO.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. We are really glad that you came all the way to Radio Pakistan and joined us for this interview. Listeners, today we have the ambassador of our brotherly country, Republic of Uzbekistan, with us. And before we finish the interview, I would like to know your impressions about Pakistan, and if you have to give a message to people of Pakistan, what would be that message, and what are your impressions about Pakistan?
Thank you, Khalid Taimur Saab, that in the very beginning of this program, you told to the listeners that you are invited a good friend of Pakistan. It is a truth. It is an absolute truth that I am not a guest in the Radio Pakistan. I am not a guest in Pakistan, but I feel myself like I am at my homeland. And of course, for me, my humble experience being a third time appointed and nominated by my president to Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and my humble experience in Pakistan, which starts from 1998 up till this year, it's always that Pakistan is the most closest from history point of view, from the traditions and the values point of view, from our religion and from our religion belief of our nations, and as well as the values that are uniting us, the hospitality, that well-being, that the respect to the elders, respect to your family, and of course the mahalla system, who are equally belong to our two countries, where the people vote is the vote who would be respected by your local government and the federal governments. But this closeness of our traditions and living standards, I might tell you that for every and each Uzbekistan citizen and for each Uzbekistanis, Pakistan will be definitely like in its second homeland. So that's why my message is, as well as for Uzbekistan and for Pakistan, that I wish all of our countries better development. I wish that our governments and our nations can use all kind of opportunities and potential which might bring our countries and two nations back to the prosperous life. And of course, I wish that the peace and security would be prevailed in our countries, in our regions, that we might have good neighborliness relations with all our neighbors in the region and the far beyond the region. And of course, I want that my message is that let's strengthen our efforts, but let's double our efforts to implement that trade and connectivity and projects and social economic development projects which our nations and our leaders started in the framework of the strategical partnership that we have between our two countries and two nations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Listeners, today we listened to the viewpoint of His Excellency Aybek Arif Usmanov, who is the Ambassador of Republic of Uzbekistan to Pakistan, and it was a very insightful interview in that he explained the Uzbek position, he explained how Uzbekistan is playing a very pivotal role in regional connectivity, about the development of Uzbekistan, and also about the tourism in Uzbekistan. Sir, on behalf of the team of FM 87.6 and Radio Pakistan, I would like to thank you for coming over here, and hopefully we will have more interviews with you in times to come. Thank you very much.
Pakistan, Uzbekistan, dosti zindabad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.